Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs. For this review we're looking at the D-Arts Ultimate Armor Megaman. Pretty cool figure, decent array of accessories, some cool features on this guy, so go get one. But first, watch this review. I'll show you the package. Some people like to see the packaging, so I'll do that really quickly. Some posing options. It's really just the same images we've seen already from the production images, but still some cool posing options. Pretty cool looking character. And then the front has the standard window with the X on it and D-Arts Megaman blah blah blah. Alright, let's look at the figure. He stands to the top of his crown, about 5.5 inches tall, so pretty much in line with all of the other Mega Man figures that we've seen. Let's adjust the camera for optimum viewing. He has this really cool translucent armor, which I'm not 100% certain about, but I'm thinking it's because the armor forms around him kind of hologrammically, I don't know. Never played the game with him in it, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So they represented that by doing this translucent blue, which is painted on the inside. It's smooth. It looks like it has texture, but it's all smooth. And they achieved that look by sculpting it on the inside and then painting it silver. So what you're seeing is silver paint on the inside of the translucent blue, and I think that's a pretty ingenious way to do that. It looks really good. So that's all translucent blue. Then you have the 3 colored gems, well, 2 orange ones at the belt and at the head, and then 1 in the chest. So more translucent plastic, looks cool. He has gems in the knees as well. The feet are translucent, and then he has, lastly, the gem in the buster, or blaster. It's called a buster. So that's pretty cool. And like all D-Arts figures, he comes with a few, not a whole bunch, but a decent batch of accessories. So let's go through that really quick. We have the standard face, which is right there. Then we have the looking to the side face, which is pretty much the exact same thing, just with the pupils moved. And then the last alternate head we have, or face we have, is the looking to the other side, slightly up with my mouth open face, which is pretty well done. Decent sculpt work, and the paintwork is pretty clean. And you just separate the helmet at the seam right down the middle, put the face in, put the helmet back on, good to go. He comes with a fist for either side, and that's because the buster can be removed for a regular arm. So he has the fists for either side, and then he also has these 2 open hands for either side as well. So a total of 4 hands plus a buster. Same style hands we've seen before. Nothing too special to look at there. So we have that. Then we have an interchangeable front piece for the buster, for the gun arm thingy, and that does not have the gem in it. So what you do, and it's kind of tight, hard to swap these out, so I'm not going to do it right now, but you just grab it by the tab there, pop this off, replace it with the one with the hole in it, and once you do that, you can put his Christmas tree in his gun. It looks a lot like a translucent green Christmas tree, but really it's just the blast effect, which is nice because it's a really deep green. And a lot of the times with the clear pieces like this, or translucent pieces, they lose a little bit of their richness, and this one has a lot of color to it, so that's nice. Alright, let's look at the rest of the accessories before we go into the figure. He has this backpack thing, which looks like a little airplane, and the instructions say it pegs on back here, which it does, and it can go up or down. With all the pieces on, they say it's supposed to go up, and he is meant to fly with it, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm just assuming that because it looks like an airplane, he can fly. So that's how it's supposed to go, like that. But they also have the pieces removable. Those all come off, and when those are off, the instructions say to throw the figure at the table as hard as you can and knock the arm off. Alright, we'll just leave that off for now. So the instructions tell you to put it up this way, which is facing downward, and there's a gem on there, by the way, and then you're supposed to leave it like that. So like I said, I never played the game with this particular version of Mega Man in it, but the backpack piece can go up or down, and the wing things and the front thing are interchangeable. I forgot to mention he has the gems in the ears that we've come to know on all of the Mega Man figures. Let's put the blaster gun arm thingy back on, since I threw it off, and since that's what we need to talk about. So this thing has 2 little peg holes on either side, a little one and a big one, and what you can do with those are, or is, what you can do with those is this. Yes, is. You use the smaller one on this side. They can only go in the certain spots that they're intended to go, so you don't have to really think about it too much. If it doesn't fit, put it on the other side. And then he has the little fin thingies on his gun as well. So to do that pose right there, you need the Christmas tree with the open end of the buster and the little fin thingies, and then you can use that. So he's got all kinds of extra pieces of armor that are interchangeable, kind of. So that's pretty cool. Now let's just look at the figure itself without looking at the accessories anymore. Poseability is really good. The head is on a ball hinge with a ball peg, and the neck is ball pegged as well. So the neck moves around. Mine's still a little stuck. There we go. So the neck moves around, and then the head moves around on that. So really anything you want to do, you can do. The shoulders are connected by an old school ball peg. So they move around just on that ball peg. The shoulder pad is actually hinged on the shoulder itself, which is a ball hinge connected to that ball peg. So a huge amount of range of motion there. Of course, it's only limited by the shoulder armor. I mean, it's there, so it's going to limit it somewhat. There's a bicep swivel at the top of the bicep, so that is a nice piece of articulation. Technically, it's a double jointed elbow, but it's effectively just a really well articulated single joint. It has this little cup on it. I don't know if it comes any farther back. It hides the joint a little bit, so that's a nice addition. A lot of the D-Arts figures have that type of piece, so I do like that a lot about these guys. So you get more than 90-degree bend there, so that's pretty cool. And then the hands are just connected on an old school ball peg, so they can swivel and lean. But there's not a huge range of motion, but then again, inside these arm things, you don't have the room for it anyway, so that's okay by me. The upper torso is, I believe, a double ball peg. It might be a single. I haven't popped them apart to look. I don't plan to, so you're going to have to just trust me that it has a really good range of motion in the upper torso, as well as in the lower torso, which I believe is a single ball peg. But either way, you can really pose him however you want. Decent ab crunch, only limited because of this piece that sticks down. That gets in the way a little bit of the upper torso. But still, he can bend forward a little bit, and he can bend backward a lot, so that's pretty good. Full swivel, side to side, no problem at all. Really nicely done. The hips have these weird compound joints, which I'm not going to bother explaining. I'll just show you what they can do. They have these little cups or caps around there that slide up and hide the joint from the front, at least. You can see it from the back. It's like a three-way ball hinge type deal, so it has extra articulation. It doesn't go to the side as well as you would like, mostly just forward and back, unfortunately. And then it has the swivel and hinge in the hip. So it's not as well articulated as it seems like it should be for all of the engineering that went into it, but it's not bad, and it looks good from the front the way these caps work. It really gives a nice effect. There is a swivel built into that, so you can rotate the thigh around there. The knees work just like the elbows, except he has a better range of motion in the knee even than the elbow, and it has that little cap thing again, so that's pretty cool. Then you have these humongous feet, which you think would get in the way of the articulation, but it doesn't, because they have these weird ball peg to ball hinge combination joints, which really lets you move the foot however you want to within that joint. You are going to be limited, of course, somewhat, but you can even rotate the foot pretty far forward and pretty far back as well. So you should have no problem posing him at all, even though he has these gigantic boot thingies. And then lastly, he has the gems in his feet as well. So it's a really great figure. The paintwork is top-notch. Most of it is molded. There is some paintwork throughout, though, with the silvers and golds in various places. Some of the like pearlescent whites. That's all painted on, and it's hard to tell what's molded and what's painted because the paintwork is that clean. It's really, really nicely done. Even better than most of the other Mega Man figures I've reviewed, so that's something to note. The only complaint I have is on this figure, I got a speck of blue right there. Not sure where that came from. Nothing in this figure is colored that color, so freak factory accident. I'll probably just be able to scratch it off. No big deal. Definitely pick this guy up if you're a Mega Man fan or a D-Arts fan or just an action figure fan. He's a really, really cool figure. And I really don't have too much to complain about with this guy. The hips could be articulated a little bit better. And that's really about it. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. In the meantime, keep collecting.